What good has this pandemic brought you? I lost my job and caught COVID 3 weeks apart, but since then I've lost 20 pounds and I had time to study for and pass 3 different tests for new state level board certifications that'll hopefully be able to spin into a new career soon. Congratulations, you turned lemons into lemonade. I hate saying it because I know so many people are in a less fortunate position, but I've financially benefited from it. Both myself and my wife have continued working. We're both just under the cutoff for the full stimulus check. I've received a lot of OT, and we, sadly, had to cancel a couple of vacations this year, but we're able to get mostly full refunds. That, coupled with less driving, going out to eat, etc., we've made out very well over the last 6 months. Very thankful for it. I did too, and I feel similarly awkward admitting it. I got my first real job at a supermarket due to panic buying, when I'd likely have not worked over summer normally. I'm a student. From my job I was able to buy a nice computer and several games I wanted for a while, but not had the specs for. Even with that outlay I've still got the best bank balance I've ever had. I know I'm very lucky. Bought a house with record low mortgage interest rates. Paid off a couple of my student loans sooner than expected thanks to the emergency forbearance. And started dating an incredible girl. I sort of feel bad about how well things have been going for me, while so many other people are losing everything. This exactly. The emergency forbearance has saved us $5k plus in interest this year alone, and now we are in talks to build a house because of us paying off a few loans now. A better perspective on understanding myself and emotional clarity. For me the same. I think during this pandemic I had more time to care of myself and had more room to breathe. I could look at things from a new perspective and follow more of my hobbies. Knowing that I'm fine with change and to have bad days is just normal. I'm far more in peace now than I was before. I understand that some things just take time and that's a process. I can adapt to it even as an immunosuppressed person. I can appreciate things more just for still being here, and that when I don't and get nervous, that's just human too. We all are now. Are you sure about that? Better hair. I used to get it cut real short. I was already overdue when lockdown started. It gets real curly when it grows long. And I got frustrated trying to straighten it. So I just let it do its own thing. Then I started getting compliments that it looks real nice this way. So I decided to just keep this going. Have you visited r/curlerhair? Excellent advice and a great, supportive and kind group. A lot of time with nothing to do but improve myself. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm cutting back on drinking. I'm sleeping better. I'm running my first D&D campaign remotely and having a blast doing it. I started reading recreationally again. I'm learning how to cook all sorts of things I never tried before. Overall, things are pretty good, considering. I witnessed enough people do the opposite of this and ruin their mental state, so it makes me happy to read that someone is making good use of their time. Keep up the good work, Iron Manta. Lots more sex and gaming. Was living the dream while I was off work. Surprisingly a lot of good. Got engaged. Lost about 20 pounds so far. Making more money at work. I dig it. Lots of time for myself and my family. Reduced pollution levels. Lucky enough to still have a job, but not enough to spend on like food and clothes and entertainment. So savings have gone up too. My wife is pregnant, so I got laid at least once with our first kid. We've both been lucky enough to keep our jobs and paychecks through a combo of paid furlough and working from home. So we've been able to get a lot done in terms of preparation for when the baby comes in a couple months. I was training in a hospital when COVID started without pay. When COVID hit, they graduated me 2 months early and the hospital offered me a position. I was anticipating another 2 months of full-time work as a student, but I showed up the next week a graduate with compensation. It worked out super well for me. Thanks to the pandemic, I now own a boat. The ability to work from home. I'm a trainee in a German software development company. Most people work from home exclusively sans one office day. Sometimes, the guy from the company training me mostly works from home. Yet, trainees are prohibited from working in home office. Some insurance thing. Mostly, a fake. During the pandemic, of course. This was temporarily allowed. And from what I have heard now, the relevant institutions prepare to allow it in general, officially, which, especially in my field, is only reasonable given that, to learn of the reality in the job you'd, realistically, need to learn how to organize while working from home. My dad got remarried last year, and I got really close my stepsister and stepmom, and it helped me a lot. I'm a single dad who went from traveling 250k miles per year for speaking gigs to all virtual overnight. I've spent the last 6 months seeing my 7-year-old daughter every day, and it's been nothing short of magical. I spent a lot of time on myself and my hobbies. I got a new PC way better than my old one, and I got time to spend with my family. It certainly seems that doctor's office visits have gotten much better. No waiting in a crowded room for an hour and a half with a bunch of sick people. I agree. Going online for simple things like prescription refills instead of having to duck around at their office is awesome, haha. I had an extremely busy 6 months at work, extremely burnt out, and hating my life. Then the pandemic hit. I had a solid 4 months of coming into work 20 minutes a day with no reduction in pay. I became very /r/anti-work and developed a plan for my company to do this permanently, which is being taken seriously. I already had a home gym, and with the extra time I got duck and jacked and ran a lot, so best shape of my life. Picked up a new hobby of FPV drone building / flying. I also ducked a baby into my wife, due in April. I can now solve a Rubik's Cube. My mandolin playing is 300% better. Listen buddy, I live in Arkansas where no one complies, and it's still spreading like crazy. Our governor was caught lying about the #s and tons of people are getting paid a shit ton to draw unemployment, while everyone else risks their lives daily for bare freaking minimum. Can I get a yay? Spending more time with my girlfriend. Listening to her stories about being a nurse during the pandemic, I've been able to focus on myself and work towards my degree again. A better reason to draw more. Free time is so amazing now. My confidence has went up a lot, and I realized who my true friends were. I'm glad I've gone through this. What separates the true friends from the untrue ones? Well, for me, my fake friends started out ignoring me and insulting me. Then, they would say things that really hurt me, like stuff that made me cry. You'd expect a real friend to apologize, but they said they don't do apologies. I got over their shit and blocked them. I'm happy and content now with my friends that don't bring me down. Working from home partially has saved me a bit on gas. Insurance breaks have been alright. I've also realized that I never want to work in an office / lab ever again. I'm perfectly content living in bumduck nowhere with some good internet. Hoping to find a 100% remote job that pays just a smidge more than my current job, and I'd be chilling for a long time. I've had a lot more time to write music, and have definitely written my best songs yet since the pandemic started. I learned new programming language alongside deep learning courses and third foreign language. Kept myself in good shape with home workouts. My home is also my gym anyway, and applied for a lot of jobs. Got my old reading habits back, although, given how most people I see on mostly social media have had nice vacations and some even managed to somehow find a relationship during all these, it really doesn't feel that much. It's the bare minimum, so that I don't at least feel like a lazy slob. Edit. Also, reading some of these comments made me feel like a useless dumbass again, lol. Stay in your lane. And by that I mean, don't compare and despair. Everyone is running their own race with a different set of life circumstances. There are also the people who probably read your comment and thought, wow, I haven't done anything during this except survive. Yeah, no. For all these people talking about losing weight, I gained weight. Why? I love to cook and started making elaborate, calorie-laden meals. My exercise was walking to and from the places that I would frequent, which was no longer a thing when everything was locked down. I would have loved to learn as much as you did. You've done some awesome things. Give yourself some credit. Same. Between the birth control and the not doing much, I've gained quite a bit of weight for my frame. After 6 years of trying for a child and multiple miscarriages, I'm finally pregnant and going on week 20. All it took was me being able to stop being so busy, I guess. I realized going full-time at school to be a chemist and hosting art shows in my city made me really stressed, and I was barely home. My husband and I have been getting along so well. It feels like a new beginning in this shitty plague time, but we've come together and realized what great friends we really are and how much we love one another. I started following the news really early on r/coronavirus and was able to buy masks in the hardware store. Position my investment portfolio appropriately, including out of the money puts well before the crash. Made a ton. I was the one in my office that stood up and did the legacy of no. Don't ignore this in mid-Feb when it was still an over there issue and my office got prepared to work remotely full-time in case schools closed. 1 month later I was proved right and the transition went really well because it was all planned for. Other sections of my organization had chaos and missed deadlines. WFH ever since. Lots of bonding with my kids. Watching them get closer with each other. It's pretty cool. We have our stressed out moments, but I'm glad for this time with them. My company is moving entirely remote. As soon as we can travel, I'm going to spend a month or so abroad. Also to-go cocktails. I can order a big ass margarita on an app. I was one of the lucky ones and was able to do my desk job from home. With no commuting, I was able to bulk up my savings account, even with doing the Amazon binge. Now that I have a more healthy savings account, I'm going to be building my first PC. So I'm super pumped about that. I feel bad that the virus was a positive thing in my life though. After hearing horror stories of others, I hope most of you are doing okay now. Met this guy on Bumble 10 days before our country went into lockdown. Spent 3 months just talking. He was the first person I met when we were finally allowed to meet on terraces. Been dating almost 3 months now. I've been drug free for 6 months now, started because I couldn't get any. Now I just don't want any. Thank you, COVID. Realizing a large portion of my circle of friends and most of my family had a lot of hate in their heart and little to no empathy for their fellow citizens of this world. Cut those people out of my life. It turns out that studying is so much easier for me from home. Also, I've started drinking more water and being healthier. It's nicer to have a longer morning to get ready and to just relax before starting classes. More money. Because it has actually resulted in us as an online merchant having significantly more in cash than before. I found a lot of good music. Rainbow Kitten Surprise is my current obsession. Do you have any music resources you care to share with the rest of the class? My 2-year-old absolutely loves that I'm around more while I'm working from home. Got hooked on studying philosophy, better mental health for the first time in a few years, and lost 33 pounds. I got to drive to my parents' house a few times a week from March to July and spend time with them. We're all older now, and I know I'll look back on those memories very fondly when they eventually pass. Typically I'd be at work all day every day, so to have the opportunity was really nice. 4 months of work instead of sitting at home twiddling my thumbs pushed me over the edge enough for me to stop procrastinating, for now. It forced my company to do what I've been pushing for 4 years, work remote 100%. I haven't had to take any sick time for panic attacks that I had frequently in office, and have saved up enough paid time off that I can actually take a mini vacation next week and still have plenty in case something happens. I've had time to finally work on my animation show reel. Been trying desperately to find a job. I've been working from home and now the company is planning to go almost fully remote in the future. I'm able to get a full night's sleep and now I'm eating healthier. I'm also able to move out of San Francisco now to a huge amazing house out of the city with my roommate/coworkers. I have more time to relax and enjoy my hobbies. It's really shined a spotlight on the selfish and entitled people within my social network. Not really anything. I guess it brought me more time to have fun, since you don't have much time during the school year. Peace of mind and relaxation and less schoolwork. Unfortunately this led to boredom. More daily hentai, time for gaming, one kid, and tons of sex. Handled it better than I thought I would. Realized I'm stronger than I thought. My stress levels decreased. I was always so stressed about my life. This was like a pause button on it all. I could relax and overcome my stress, which will benefit me when 2020 presses play. My school made my classes pass-fail by request, so I was able to duck a mediocre grade and do well in most of the rest of my classes. I was trying to get into a specific school within my university and they lowered the requirements, so rather than being tight I got in easily. I've spent more time with family. Aside from that it sucks. Overall I'm unhappy with the pandemic and response to it though. Has screwed up a ton of things I was planning on doing and killed a lot of people, some of whom I know. A substantial bonus at work. Sales have been very good. I have actually spent more time out in nature during the daylight hours than I have since I graduated from school and started working. Usually my days are spent in an office, and I only get home at around 6 PM, by which I have make dinner, etc. And then next thing you know, the sun has set. Now, WFM, I can shift my time around a little to accommodate a walk during the day. I'm a delivery driver for a pizza company and people became a lot more generous in my area. Also there was an increase in deliveries. So, this pandemic was a blessing for me. Sorry if it isn't for you. It will get better. More time with the pets. I get to take breaks to give pats to the pups. Wife got to spend all day the last couple months with her cat of 17 years before we unfortunately had to say goodbye. Sorry to hear about your loss, at least your wife got some more time with your cat. And similar situation here. Working from home has given me more time with my aging dog, who I haven't spent this much time with in years. We now have a rotation system in my office, and on the first day, when I had to go into work, I came home to the first set of Zoomies for the year. My old girl has still got it in her. Zoomies are the best. Glad to hear she still has it in her. Give her a pat and tell her she's a good girl from this internet stranger. After having a baby, I couldn't get Childka to go back to school, but now that everything is online, I can actually get closer to graduation. Got a bunch of projects done around the house, grew an awesome garden, started clean eating and swimming more, lost over 10 pounds so far, spent lots of quality time with my kids. I moved in with my boyfriend into a gorgeous riverside flat. It was an impulsive decision as his contract expired at his old place and he couldn't find a room during lockdown. We hadn't seen each other in 5 months, so sleeping with him in our own new bed after a hard day unpacking was an amazing way to end that period. It helped me make some barcodes with the market, which motivated me to finish my BSN, obtain better employment at a place which on nursing is hailed as over of the best jobs, and get accepted to nurse practitioner school. Also got to spend time with my family and work on my relationship with my partner. It kind of put a fire beneath my ass. I was conducting research that got cancelled when the COVID-19 pandemic began in the States. So over the ensuing months I said duck it, why not, and started applying for a nationally competitive scholarship. Since March I have been writing personal statements, grant statements, and attempting to network with the Scholarship Society. It may still end up with me not getting it, but at least I can look back on it and go wow, I really worked my ass off to do that. I had major surgery and have not felt bad being in my house the entire summer. More time to work on myself and reflect on life. I'm learning so much more things I've always wanted to. I've gotten much better at playing the guitar and I have been able to clean my room, detail my car, and fix anything broken. I didn't have a really strong friendship with one of my friends before this shit. We were more annoying each other to death and arguing than being friends and talking. When all this started, I started talking to her more and more since I had her contact. We talked in general, listened to each other's feelings, helped each other with stupid thing and just became closer. We've both acknowledged this too and it just makes me happy to know I've gotten closer to her and that when we do get the chance to see each other, we'll be more enjoying it than annoying each other and arguing and such. So yeah, this pandemic has helped me secure a friendship with someone. Before we had a weak friendship where we would argue and annoy each other constantly and not like a normal friendship, but seriously annoy and argue, and now we are way closer. So thanks pandemic for that one thing. I quit smoking. I've tried and failed many times in the past, and usually failure was because I missed the social aspect of it. No social interactions eliminated that problem. I'm at 144 days and counting. I had ovarian cancer in January, participated in chemo till May, got let go from my job in May. One of my best friends died the day before my birthday. My mom was diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer. Had an aunt and cousin pass away the same day, not together. But because I was not working and still recovering, I have gotten to visit my mom for 2.5 months. I live out of state. I'm so grateful for this time I get to spend with her. I would have never had the time to do this. Lots of anti-Nibiru sentiments are surfacing, and I've been the victim of hostility due to racist misconceptions ever since this started. We have enjoyed the increase in family time. So much less running around and doing a bunch of crap. I have been wondering if my kids, 9 and 13, will look back on this time differently than us. As adults, this has been filled with so much worry and stress. Our kids have been shielded from the worry and stress somewhat, but have spent more time with us. Will they have fond memories of the year, or so they got to hang out with their parents so much? Forced to get better at basic home skills like cooking, gardening, and no commute equals more time to work out. All of those mom and pop restaurants that are closing down, the ones that are left are the good ones. A small bit of peace of mind knowing the human population has been lowered a little bit faster. Pros: I eat better, I sleep better, I feel better, and am saving a metric ton of money. Cons: I'm home all day alone with my thoughts, but I'm trying to get better at mindfulness, so sort of win. Realizing it's okay to just stay inside and not be in contact with people. Deleted my FB and IG. Life is much better emo alone. I went from 0 to 15 indoor houseplants and I have only killed one. I have never had a houseplant last more than a few weeks before. I started going on long walks when the quarantine started just to keep my sanity. This translated into me deciding I may as well change my diet as well, and as a result I've lost over 40 pounds and am within 25 pounds of being a healthy weight for my height. Plenty of meditation, reading books, cooking good food, daily yoga, much more cycling, and stop drinking and smoking cigarettes. So mostly good. I've also become unemployed, living off savings within this time, which isn't as good, but I'm enjoying my time regardless. Played through 2 great games, found a job, got a whole lot more fit, and I understand myself a lot better on an emotional level. All in all, 2020 is actually a great year for me. My job suddenly decided to embrace technology. For years we were told that working from home was impossible because of the red tape involved with getting people devices, and the ability to access work databases was cumbersome. Within 3 weeks of the pandemic, not only was this possible, employees were encouraged to work from home. Being able to do what I wanted, staying inside my safe place, house. I quit smoking. Been smoking a pack plus a day for 15 years. Been 2 months completely cigar nicotine free. I had enough free time, losing my work term position and school being pushed back, that I was able to quit cold turkey and replaced the habit with working out. This is my 4th time trying to kick the habit and first time it has lasted more than a week. I got to spend a lot more time with my cat, who sadly died a couple of weeks back. Also got to play through more games that I normally would, so that was fun I guess. Both my husband and I lost our jobs within a few months of each other, and we worked at the same place. My husband was able to get a better job with better pay and much better people, and I became a housewife with our first baby on the way. I really appreciate how amazing our lives have changed within this year. Some of it due to coronavirus. I can stay in without guilt and excuses. I can work from home, which means more free time and less back pain. I'm eating better, no office snacks, and have time to exercise. So I lost weight. It's the first year of my life when I haven't got a cold yet. New hobbies. No awkward family get-togethers. Since everything went to shit, and I have online college classes now, I got myself a really nice desktop to do them on. I used to have really bad insomnia, but after the pandemic started, I've been getting quality sleep, at least. In the beginning, when I thought I was secure in my job, weird thing was that I started to get very vivid dreams during the first month of quarantine. Also, it made me so thankful for my friends. I don't have a lot, but we did our best to help support each other. I need to see my friends more. I only saw them during school, but since that has been taken away I've been lonelier. It doesn't help that my best friend gets grounded for no reason all the time. Friends. Partying in my first sexual experiences. Oddly enough despite pandemic. But my country went on early lockdown, so we never really had a situation with the virus here. Just the overall situation made me seek different activities. More clients for my side business, since they laid off workers, but still have a bit of work they can contract out. Now that the extended unemployment benefits ended, I've been scooping up stuff I collect cheap on Letgo and Craigslist. I learned to paradiddle and various other drum rudiment. I'm starting to learn Blender and resuming work on the game I started making a few years ago. I've also completed several of the Yakuza games and got into Junji Ito manga. Overall it's not been too bad. Some of my favorite bands have continued releasing albums, and I work in a hospital, so I'm a key worker. Honestly it hasn't affected me much. I feel like my sleep has gotten much better. Usually I expect an alarm to ring early in the morning, but recently I just wake up when I feel like it. Cancelled my zoology lab when the pandemic first started, as well as the tail end of my organic chemistry lab. Thanks to that, I passed my zoology class and managed to BS Chemical Lab XD, my last chemical lab too. A couple of new hobbies. Taught myself how to sew and got into doll customizing. It's kinda weird, but it combines all of my random art related skills. I have only gotten gas 3 times since March. I usually have to fill up once a week. Shit, that's a really good point. I don't actually remember the last time I filled up. Great success. I've lost earnings and had to move back in with my mother, but in the plus side I haven't had to commute whilst pregnant, and I've decided to change careers. I'm going to study nursing, so I'll never be unemployed again. The knowledge that my marriage is extremely stable. He was home much more than normal. Our toddler was stir crazy. Our neighbor had a meltdown over the placement of our new swing set, but my husband and I really enjoyed the extra time together. We didn't get on each other's nerves. We recognized when quiet space was needed, and we conceived our second child. I miss him now that he's back to working outside the home again. What is this? Mass personal development and growth. Disgusting / sits really nice seeing how this time has helped so many people build themselves up. Happy for y'all. Started a very challenging job March 30th. Started running. Lost 40 to 50 pounds depending on the day. Can jog 10 miles at 9-minute miles now. I have spent so much more time with my family. I also get 5 hours of my life back per day due to no commute. More time for hobbies. More time with my family. I'm truly sorry for those out there suffering, but for me this lockdown will go down as one of the best times of my life. I realize now that I seriously undervalued my free time when I decided to go cheaper and move farther away from work. Absolutely nothing. Been depressed as all shit for months. Put on a bunch of weight. Still have a job, but it's increasingly unstable. There's no good in this. I've learned meditation. Studying for improvements again. Fix my finances. Heal myself from office gossips and traumas and quality time. Taylor Swift was supposed to go on tour but couldn't. So instead, she wrote, recorded, and released the best album I've heard in years. I feel terrible about it, but my company paid us $300 extra per week between mid or end of March. Can't remember the start date until July 4th. Since we are essential, I heavily profited off the sickness. Then my coworker took a bunch of weeks off for surgery, so I have been on call every other week since that ended, earning even more money. So I guess I feel bad that, while a lot of people are hurting financially, I may have the best yearly earning I have had in forever. Got to work from home an entire month while getting paid fully, and I got to spend every day with the mister and the cat. We were so efficient and had a good working schedule. As someone who suffers from anxiety and pukes almost every morning as I prepare myself mentally to get out of the house, that month was pure bliss. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.